Nearly 1 in 2 Black women have experienced symptoms of anxiety or depression, but most never get help. Let's talk about why. This episode is brought to you by Fortis Mentis Psychiatry, where Black and Brown girls can find individual therapy, mindfulness and meditation coaching, medication management, and case management. To learn more, go to fortismentispsychiatry.com/safe place. Hey girl, welcome back to Safe Place for Brown Girls. I'm your host, Dr. Kathleen Estime, a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and this is the space where we talk about mental health, emotional wellness, and the real life experiences of women of color without stigma and without shame. I'm doing something a little different in this episode because I want to help even more of you, especially those of you who've been quietly struggling. If you've been feeling a little lost, overwhelmed, or unsure of what's going on inside of you, I want you to know you're not alone. As a psychiatric nurse practitioner, I help women of color every day. And if you're listening to this and wondering, do I need help too? The answer is it's okay to ask. You can meet with me one-on-one for a private judgment-free session. Just go to fortismentispsychiatry.com/help or click the link in the show notes to schedule your consultation. There are 3 mental health issues I see over and over again in my practice. I want to break them down for you in a way that feels real and relatable. These are things you might be going through right now, even if you haven't put a name to it yet. 1 is anxiety disorder. 2, depression, major depressive disorder. And 3, trauma-related disorders, including PTSD. Let's start with anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorder involves persistent, excessive worry or fear that interferes with your daily life. How it shows up day to day? Constant worry about your kids' safety, even if they're just out with friends. Feeling tense and restless while trying to fall asleep. Panic attacks that seem to come out of nowhere. Racing thoughts at night that can't shut off. They don't allow you to sleep. Being in that sandwich generation and feeling like you can't keep up, caring for your kids and your aging parents at the same time. Why it happens? It's often tied to chronic stress, past trauma, or long term effects of always being the dependable one. When you've had to survive in high alert mode for too long, your nervous system just doesn't know how to relax, and it manifests itself in anxiety. Number 2 is depression or major depressive disorder. Depression is a clinical condition that impacts how you feel, think, sleep, and function. It's incredibly common, especially among women of color. Nearly 60% of Black women report symptoms of depression, but only 12% receive consistent treatment. How it shows up day to day, you asked? Well, you feel drained even after a full night's sleep. You either oversleep or can't sleep. You've lost your interest in things you used to enjoy. You're easily irritated or angry, especially with people close to you. Your appetite or sleep has changed dramatically. You feel hopeless, like no matter what you do, nothing gets better. My story, when I was raising my kids as a single mom, I didn't know I was depressed. I just thought I was failing. I remember sitting in my room thinking, how am I in this situation? In one of my recent episodes, I talked about going back to school after 40. But honestly, I couldn't even think about that in the beginning. I had zero motivation, but I was fortunate enough to have a good support system that helped me move through this fog. And the truth is, depression thrives in silence. Too many of us don't talk about it because we've been told to be strong. But silence doesn't protect you. Speaking up does. Number 3 is trauma related disorders, including PTSD. Trauma disorders developed after deeply distressing experiences, physical abuse, childhood neglect, sexual assault, or violence in relationship. How it shows up, you ask? Flashbacks or nightmares that come out of nowhere, feeling emotionally numb or disconnected, hypervigilance, always on the edge, especially startled, avoiding places, people, situations that bring back painful memories, and struggling to trust people, even your current partner, because of what someone else did in the past. My story: when I was in the military, I thought I was in a safe space. I was serving my country. I thought I'd be protecting others, but behind the closed doors, my then husband was physically abusive. After I left him, I didn't feel better. I felt frozen, stuck, not functioning. I didn't even realize I was depressed. I just wasn't moving. It took time, therapy, and love to rebuild my life. Now I'm in a healthy marriage with my husband, Randall, and I still go to therapy because the work never really stops. But that pain is part of the reason I do this work, because I want to help other women heal too. If anything in this episode felt familiar, even a little, please know you are not alone, and you do not have to keep carrying this by yourself. Book a session with me, whether it's anxiety, depression, trauma, or just not feeling like yourself. Let's talk. Go to fortismentopsychiatry.com/help or use the link below. The day I asked for help changed my life, and it's been beautiful to watch the women I work with experience the same kind of shift. Anything is possible, but the first step is asking for help, and I'd be honored to help you. Thank you so much for being here today. If this episode resonated with you, encouraged you, or reminded you that healing is possible, share it with a friend. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Fortis Mentis Psychiatry. Connect with me on LinkedIn at Dr. Kathleen Jude Estime. And be sure to subscribe to this channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, take care of yourself, girl. You deserve it. This episode was brought to you by Fortis Mentis Psychiatry, where Black and brown girls can find individual therapy, mindfulness and meditation coaching, medication management, and case management. To learn more, go to fortismentipsychiatry.com/safe place.